Alright. Well, here we are, finally. We were pinned in the lobby for some time. But we're here, and then my OBS crashed, which is great. We have, on the blue team, playing as the Chaos Lord, Oceans 8 Alaska. Back, once again, and playing as the Chaos Sorcerer, it is Shroom. On the other side, Arctic Frenzy, playing as Chaos Lord, as per usual. And Tenso, playing as the Apothecary. So we've already had one sound bug this series, and it was in the lobby. Let's hope that that doesn't go any further, shall we? Let's see what's going on. Shroom and Oceans coming up with some meme strategies, or are they just gonna play? They're just gonna play. Can I see the scouts of Tenso running into the Chaos Sorcerer of Shroom? Not a fight they really want, but they've got plenty of support here from the Tax and the Apothecary. Meanwhile, the Chaos Lord of Arctic Frenzy up against the Chaos Lord of Oceans 8 Alaska. He is on his own here. CSM are moving up in support. Meanwhile, Scout's taking a bit of damage. No heal needed. Fighting out of green cover. Oh, that was a bold move. Kraken bolts popped on the Tax as the CSM step out of cover. This is a bit of a noodling contest. Doom bolts will be mitigated by the cover. Not a good hit. Not a good hit at all. Meanwhile, Chaos Lord slapping at people. Slapping at the CSM whilst the Oceans heads towards the CSM of his opponent. Double Heretics here for Oceans, and it's double CSM for Arctic Frenzy. These lads worshipping to give the CSM more room to kite. Probably lose a model too here. No, Chaos Lord went for the wrong model. He didn't go for the nearby one. Anything going on over here? Nope. They're just slapping each other with wet noodles behind green cover. Meanwhile, Heretics chasing off Scouts. The Apothecary gets in there. Doom Blast will suppress the Scouts. It will force a retreat, but the Heretics have to retreat in turn. Chaos Lord of Oceans chopping up Heretics, just trying to get in there. Meanwhile, Arctic Frenzy has lost a lot of HP on his units, the Corn Worship, allowing the CSM plenty of room to break that melee and kite around. Sorcerer here, completely surrounded, needs to get out. Yeah, there you go. And out he goes. Havoc's on the way for AF2. Meanwhile, we have double CSM up for Oceans. Noise Marines has been the choice from Shroom, and double Tax the choice from Tenso. Double CSM of AF2 heading into the mid. We have Noise Marines getting rid of the Apothecary. He is armed with the Sanguine Chainsword, so doesn't really care about having his range damage gutted. Some Tzeentch worship. Wise man once told me this was a noob trap, but there are now hidden Noise Marines here. Sneaky Noise Marines. Meanwhile, the Chaos Lord of Oceans taking a hell of a beating going in against 2 CSM. Havocs and Heretics looking to flank the double CSM of Oceans. He needs to get out of there. This is a big flank coming, actually. Both players now converging on the mid. Oceans just has to get out of there. He can't withstand this much firepower. We tried. It looked like we went for a retreat grenade, but they were too far away from the Tenso. Wisely cancelled that. Have we got anything? Sword of Flame on the way for the Chaos Sorcerer. Expect to see Vestments of the Warp as well. That's a really nice Doom Bolt. That did a hell of a lot of damage to both attack squads. Meanwhile, let's see. Power has been built up on the Shroom side. Nothing here. Obviously, this is a very contested point. Kind of dangerous to build power here. And power has been built up a little bit by the red team. Definitely blue team with a power advantage. Oceans going up to tier 2. We have a fight in the mid between the Space Marines and the Chaos Sorcerer. Cacophony from the Noise Marines blows away the Apothecary. He might end up getting caught on retreat here. One more hit. Not going to get it. He managed to reach a decent speed before the Heretics completely surrounded him. We did lose a TAC model, I believe. Noise Marines lost a model. Lots of Heretics dead, but who cares? Any War Gift Chaos Lords? Nope, wasn't really expecting to see any this early. You can go for a Combi Flamer, but against heavy infantry it's not really that great. Get out of there, Chaos Lord. Oh, Heretics on retreat path. This guy is probably going down. Yep, and down he goes. Shroom saying he's going to go for the res. Unfortunately, taking a heavy bolt of fire straight to the chops like that, even a manly man like the Chaos Lord can't withstand. We have a lot of power armor here, moving into the mid. We have Sparring Champion Heretics, double CSM, double tax, forcing off the CSM of Shroom. But the Blood Crusher is coming now from Oceans, and neither AF2 nor the Tenso are anywhere close to tier 2. Still missing power. Fully developed 2 power farms now, and fully developed 2 power farms on the blue side. But the blue side have had that for longer. Shroom clicking up to tier 2. Good luck everyone in tier 2. Blood Crusher almost out. AF2 up to tier 2. He can go for an autocannon on the Havocs in tier 2, which would be a good answer to the Blood Crusher without going for a las cannon. Las cannon might be a bit overkill. Autocannon should do the job. In terms of Tenso, his AV options basically are missile launches on TAC Marines. I'm hearing the deafening sound of a let fly from very sneaky scouts. Grenaded the Sorcerer. They are currently under the cover of infiltration. Zinchian Worship. Oh, that's a big Doombolt. Nice hit there from Shroom. And the Noise Marines cutting down the range firepower of the Tactical Marines. CSM are in retreat. Blood Crusher charging forwards, wants to get to grips with these Loyalist Marines. What's going on down here? It's just heretic things. Blood Crusher, uncontested. Full retreat from the red team is the only thing they can do here. Nothing can deal with this Blood Crusher right now. See if he does go for the mark of Zinch on the Havocs or the mark of Khorne, autocannon or las cannon. I would expect the autocannon, Chaos autocannon, very, very good. Also, you don't really need massively hard AV against a Blood Crusher. An autocannon will do just nicely. Blood Crusher is on the way from Arctic Frenzy. Blood Letters on the way from Oceans. Tenso signifies that he would like to go for a Dreadnought, which would be a good choice. That will force hard AV out from the blue team. Chaos Lord is revived by the Chaos Sorcerer. The nerf to the XP you get on Resurrection is crazy. AF2 is Arctic Frenzy. Dreadnought on the way for Tenso. No further upgrades for the Apothecary, still sticking with Sanguine Chainsword. The Sorcerer has the Vestments of the Warp, allowing him to teleport into combat. We might see it here to break down the Havocs. Havocs not going for a mark, deciding instead to rely upon their own Blood Crusher. The charge in from the Blood Crusher of Oceans has left him vulnerable to counter-attack from the Blood Crusher here. Massive force of the red team here on the western side of the map. Blood Crusher chasing off CSM, whereas the Blood Crusher here is in retreat. Actually, he's not looking to tangle. The Chaos Sorcerer will go down, massively overextended, and will go down to all of the bolt fire. These Noise Marines have chosen a very poor retreat path and might pay for it with their lives if the Blood Crusher can get them. We're going to see the charge. Here he comes. Have they reached? Yep, they've reached fast enough speed. They will be safe. Here comes some Khorne Worship, healing up what little damage that Blood Crusher took and advancing the rest of the Chaos Force forwards. Blood Letters are in play now. Blood Letters also on the way for Arctic Frenzy. And the Dreadnought marching his way into combat. During all of this, Shroom has done a good job capping up the right-hand side of the map and is getting Blood Letters of his own. We'll see if Oceans can manage to get the res onto the Chaos Sorcerer. Should be possible. We have Mark of Zinch CSM now. Only one unit, but still good. Mark of Zinch CSM will do a tremendous amount of damage to the CSM of Oceans. Well, just a tremendous amount of damage to everything, really. They hit really fucking hard. We are warping forwards onto the Havocs from the Blood Letters, but not able to get into melee combat with them. Was prevented by the Heretics, actually. Double TCSM now. And the Havocs are protected by a wall of Heretics and Inferno Bolters. What's going on over here? It sounds like a Blastmaster to me, and indeed it is. Blastmaster will have to retreat out of the way of the Dreadnought. Get out of there, lads. You don't want to tangle with this guy. And more Chaos Space Marines now for Shroom. Really very limited anti-vehicle, nothing at all. Ah, and Shroom does say the CSM was a mistake. Should have been Havoc's. And now the blue team moves over here and they will fully power bash. Sorry, the red team moves over here and they will fully power bash the blue team most likely. With no anti-vehicle, this Dreadnought and Blood Crusher don't have a... They don't have anything to worry about. On top of that, we have double plasma attacks with their sergeants. This TCSM are holding down the mid, whilst the two vehicles go ham. We have Aspiring Champion CSM and TCSM here. Inferno Bolters will do a decent amount of damage to the Blood Crusher, not masses, but it's not negligible either. Losing a Tactical Marine there to more TCSM. And Eternal War on the way for the second squad. Shroom has been res now, the Sorcerer is up. Worshipping to heal the Blood Crusher. Still no autocannon on the Havocs, probably like to see... God, look at that damage from the Bloodletters and the Inferno Bolts. Bloodletters teleporting in, looking to disrupt the Havocs. This is a dodgy TP in, though. They can't get onto them. And they're forced into a retreat by the Blood Crusher and the Dreadnought. Meanwhile, Bloodletters of Arctic Frenzy popping the phase shift, phasing back into the Immaterium to get out of there. We have Mark of Tzeentch Havocs looking to las cannon down the vehicles. The vestments of the Warp used there to teleport the Sorcerer into combat with the Aspiring Champion Heretics. But the map is turning predominantly red now. Arctic Frenzy forced into a mass retreat. Tactical Space Marines cannot withstand this much firepower from Tzeentch CSM. Even though it's only one unit, it's a hell of a lot. Doombolts. Oh! Mitigated by cover, but still did a significant amount of damage. Where are the las cannon Havocs? Not in position just yet, but the blue team are now able to push back into the mid with most of the Chaos Forces off the field. Tier 3 is on the way for Arctic Frenzy. What's going on here? Dark Halo and Harness of Rage. Chaos Lord chasing off some Heretics. Gone for a very tanky build here. What's Ocean's got? Mantle of Hate, gives him Drain Life, very good in a sort of 1v1 scenario. But no Dark Halo. Energy is spent for Arctic Frenzy here, so the retreat is the only option. We have an Assault Cannon Dreadnought up now, gunning down the CSM here of Shroom, who are also engaged by Blood Crusher and Bloodletters. That's no good. Oh, massive friendly fire from the Blastmaster, cost the lives of 3 Chaos Space Marines. And the Bloodletters move on to the las cannon weapon team, forcing that into retreat. Blood Crusher from Oceans charging in, trying to engage the Blood Crusher of Arctic Frenzy. Meanwhile, Bloodletters will be persuaded to leave by the Dark Rift, Bloodletters, Heretics, and massed Inferno Bolter fire. Assault Cannon Barrage chewing up Heretics. Actually didn't kill any of them, which is surprising. That does pretty nutso damage. I guess it was just sort of glancing blows. Blood Crusher of Oceans going for the easy kills on the Heretics. He got one at least. Seems to be kind of messed up in his pathing here. Gets onto the TCSM and then goes to the Assault Cannon Dreadnought. In a ranged variant, this does not have melee resistance. It's not a great fight for the Blood Crusher, but especially not with Scouts repairing. But if they're bringing in support, Worship especially, it could win. And it will win. Will the Blood Crusher be traded? The heals from the Worship, not enough to keep it alive. What's going on in here? Bloodletters teleported in to disrupt the ranged firepower. And now Oceans has to get the hell out of here. Dread is dead, but what was the end cost? It was a Blood Crusher, a bunch of Bloodletter models, lucky to get out of there with 2 alive on 60 HP. Not too much else was expended. Tenso hasn't built anything since the Dreadnought. Both red team players are in tier 3. Oceans is in tier 3. Shroom is far from it. Has no requisition to speak of. Blue team need to get back out onto the map, capture some resources. The victory points are quite heavily in favor of the red team, but you can't win without resources, so resources should take priority. It's not the end of the world just yet. Getting close to that stage, though, pretty much under 100. You do have to be very careful with your VPs. Chains of Torment here to hold up the Blood Crushers, and nothing is in range to attack that, actually. These Blood Crushers could get absolutely wrecked, and they do wisely decide to retreat out. If you destroy the central mass of the chains, you can free your units, but with only one unit. That was a nice play from Shroom, actually. Looks like scouts are running in to try and melee CSM. Not sure about that play, but hey, with the apothecary there. Fairly pitiful Doombolts there, and didn't have too much energy. He does have now the Sigil of the Rift, which allows him to teleport units. Could see some silliness with... oh my god, scouts kicking the sorcerer to death. Where is the Chaos Lord? Chaos Lord is nowhere near, so it will not be a swift revive, but Ocean should think about making his way over there. Shroom does not have the requisition to repurchase his sorcerer. We have Terminators now for Tenso. And it will be another power bash here against the blue team. Great Unclean One on the way for Arctic Frenzy. What can we do here on the blue side to break this siege? Not a great deal, honestly. We have Chaos Predator on the way for Alaska. Oh, that's a huge hit. Oh my god. What a great Blastmaster hit. And Dark Flames there on retreat won't pick off any further models, and the Assault Cannon Terminators do need to respect the firepower of the Tzeentch CSM. Chaos Lord back in base, not able to head out to the aid of the Sorcerer just yet. Victory points now in sort of entering that dangerous territory. There's going to be a triple cap here. Blue team have to get back onto the VPs. Shroom looks to be saving for tier 2. Lightning Claw, Force Commander now. Force Commander. This isn't a Force Commander, this is a Chaos Lord. He will mince and mash heretics all day, every day with this. You don't want to be fighting this guy in melee. Very scary. But, you know what? He doesn't really do well against massed Inferno Bolter fire. So the Terminators managed to force off Shroom from the northern cap. Mid needs to be capped here. Who's going to do it? Someone has to do it. We're at sub 40 victory points, gents, and you have a double cap against you. You need to get someone on that. There it is. Chaos Space Marines heading back, but they will not be uncontested. I don't think it can hold this position. It might be over. And here comes the Great Unclean One. Greater Demon of Nurgle. Oh my god, look at the damage from that vomit on the heretics. Oh well. And game 2 we go. We saw the Cloud of Flies there at the end. GG everybody.